Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Selia, the New Order, after a long break of about a month. I can't even remember when the last time it was replayed. Though it was a long time.
Yep.
And for the special occasion of the new year, we have something very special for you, which was teased like 3 months ago. At least for my players.
Yeah.
Where I sent them a special package, which they weren't allowed to open. Some of them received it quite early, within the expected delivery time. However, because the Canadian postal system decided to, well, fuck literally everyone was in Canada. The package got heavily delayed and they just recently received it. And so, for the special celebration for not only the new year, but also for my players, which is now a belated, I guess, Christmas gift and a, I guess, late New Year's gift as well, I am now allowing them to open and look at what I sent them. So please, now you are allowed to unroll and look at what you have received. And yes, it is a poster indeed. And you can decide yourselves what the hell it is.
Holy crap!
Oh, that is so cool!
Oh my gosh! It's my
Oh, you got a
dragon!
different one!
It's my dragon!
Okay.
Let's see, how do I flip my camera?
Oh, did we all get something different?
Oh yeah, you all got
did.
something
I
different.
think so.
It's so cool!
P.S. Don't get spooked, Jack. Okay.
It's so nice.
I guess I'll try to show you guys this one too.
No.
Yeah, they're all.
What'd you guys
I guess
get?
we should like take pictures or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can take pictures and send it on Discord. I
Oh
might
my
be able to share that
gosh.
way.
It's so cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. These are
What are these?
That's amazing.
very special illustrations that I made, and I won't reveal what they are. Otherwise, it's like heavy spoilers. So you can interpret these things as you wish.
Oh my gosh.
Are they angels? Are they demons? Are
I
they dragons?
have a feeling about this. I have a theory. I have a feeling about this.
That's great.
I have
Yes.
no idea.
That's also a great.
Why does it have 3 arms?
Mine
Yeah.
has 4.
Listen, mine is a skeleton of some sort, but a giant one.
Yep.
Like, there's this like purple orb in the middle of mine. Like, I don't even know.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna take a picture of it during the break later so that you guys can take a look at it. And I'm going to fix my camera for a quick second.
Yeah. The camera, Skid's
'Cause
camera
it-
is really excited.
What the hell?
Holy crap.
What
Yeah,
the heck
no,
is this?
But like similar but different, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh my
I don't
goodness.
know if you guys remember, but you all rolled some dice a long time ago.
Yes, we
And
did.
We've done that a few
Just
times.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was
We
a
do that for Midnight Session, I think.
but it was a very odd number that
Oops.
doesn't relate to
Oh.
any,
Yeah.
and that
Now-
decided which one you got. And funnily
What?
enough,
That was a long time ago.
yeah, it was a long
Yeah.
time ago, exactly. So I had this in the making for quite a while, as you can
Oh
see.
my god.
Yeah.
Where's the wire for
Oh, it's
this?
sideways. How do I-
All right, guys. I'd love to keep chatting, but I do have to go back to work
Yes.
now.
Yes. All right, gonna say bye to Felicia.
Bye,
Bye.
Felicia.
Bye.
Hopefully, I'll be rejoining you guys again very soon once my work schedule goes kind of normal again.
Yeah. Adio, and until later. Well, this is
Yes.
coming back.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
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 All right, gonna switch to our 3-player. Is everyone in the right order? Yes, it is.
Yeah, this one has like a lightsaber that is stabbed itself with.
This just
And
has
it's
a
doing, like,
hole
the-
right through its leg.
The ninja thing of like doing a hand sign.
Ouch.
And then there's just like a bunch of
Ouch.
like undead arms at the bottom of the picture. And a giant green explosion.
Yeah.
Lot going on. Lot purple, a purple mist. I don't know what that is.
Hmm.
Okay. Hopefully
that's
that
very
fixes it, at least for now.
Yeah, might do it.
Where? Oh, okay, I put it here. All right.
Oh, finally. Oh my god.
Yep.
It is
And I feel like my shirt is like.
just a girl who lost ranks. Nice.
Nope, it did
No.
not fix it. My camera is dying. Sweet.
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
It's probably gonna be like that all evening. I'm gonna have to invest into a new webcam. Unfortunately, it's quite old.
Hmm. Yeah. All right. My people, I also bought a poster for myself, obviously, for my own store. And yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that it's like super rolled up, so you probably have to put it in a frame to keep it straight.
That's no big deal.
Yeah, I think that can work out. But yeah, you probably will get a lot of questions if people come to your place like, what is that? And you will have no answer.
Oh, I will have an answer. I will say I have no idea what it is. You'll have to ask my DM.
And he also won't answer it because actually I might answer to them. But yeah, for the viewers who are here, if you also want to purchase actually one of these things and actually find out what they are, there's a link in the description to my website where you can purchase these things as well as other things. But of course, for our players, unfortunately, you are not allowed to go to that website unless you want to spoil yourselves. Even if you go on there, you won't have like big spoilers. It will reveal like a little bit of things. It will reveal what these things are, but that in itself won't
That's
reveal
almost
much.
worse though,
Yeah,
because it's like just enough to like answer a question, but that'll probably open up a whole lot more
It opens
questions.
up can of worms, yeah.
exactly.
What's in the can? It's a can of worms.
And why are the worms there? You will never know. Yes, but
Oh, there's my note. I got my note.
oh, nice.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah, the other,
Oh,
did you?
here's mine.
It's different to everyone, right? I assume so.
Yeah,
Yeah, too bad.
I tried to write something original to everyone, though they are in a similar vein.
Yes, the samurais, you cannot reply to this message. That was good.
You're at 23 words on this.
So that would fit in a
You went
sending.
like,
That would fit in a sending.
Yeah,
alright.
special postal sending.
Yep. And there's
33.
my
Oh
there's
shit.
my address misspelled, which my post lady did slap me on the wrist, saying like, you gotta give the right address to the people, and I was like, he's German.
Oh, oh, at the bottom, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demon of Destruction.
Oh.
Demon of
It
decay.
writes the name.
Yeah. Well, it
But
reveals.
what do they mean?
There's one one bit of information that you've gotten now.
What do
Demon
they
of
mean?
instability.
I've cracked the case.
Demon of decay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Building
It's
Destruction.
cool though. I'm definitely framing it up, and it's going in the back right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's going
Did
right
we
above my
hear about
computer so I can look at it every
One
day.
of them before?
Yeah.
No. I don't
Okay. But the special announcements aren't over yet. Yes, I have another special announcement. A very special one, in fact, which is after my 2 successful Kickstarters, I have now started with my biggest project yet, which is my first physical item that I want to create, which is a card deck. But not any kind of card deck. Not a playing card deck. Not a tarot card deck, even though it has the tarot dimensions. It will be a monster appendix card deck, which will be a demonic compendium volume 1, which will have a card deck of a selection of demons specifically illustrated for that card deck, where you have the illustration on one side of the card and its stats on the other. So you can take it with and a nice handy DM's tool, as well as a rule set for using demonic blight, as I have been using it in this game, and also tokens of every single demon that is included in the deck, and a special custom dice set that I will also be making for that. And yes, my players are lucky. I will also try to get you one as well, so you can see the nightmares that you might potentially encounter out in the wild. And probably after you see the demons, you never ever want to go out again, because they look truly gruesome. Yeah, so that is currently in the production. It's still kind of in a pre-production phase, so I don't know when that Kickstarter will launch, but hopefully somewhere around next month or in 2 months or so. If you want to help support our little channel or help support the things that we do here, this is of course part of this great story that we're telling, so only a small part of it. It's a great way to do so, but more information on that will come in the future. But enough of this. Enough of announcements. We are here to freaking play D&D, because all of us haven't played in a long time. And man, I feel like a child. I've been so excited. I've even forgotten which episode it is. 84? No, 83.
It's a great question.
It should say in the
I open
Discord.
my notes.
83.
Yes,
83.
So, without further ado, 83, the opening question. We're already 12 minutes in and we still haven't started playing, but we will do a quick round of questions, which is, do you guys think the Crusaders that you saved will help you? Boom, go. Just yes or no. Just yes or no.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I think so. I think so.
High probability, but not decisive.
All right. So the question is out of the way, and so with that, peoples, let's get this shit started. Finally, D&D, let's go. He will guide us out of this endless misery, be it pain, sins, penance, or grafting. He knows where one of the roots of Nephasius is, and with them together, we will burn the tree of purgatory, and in its fire, a new age will begin. An age where we do not rely on the light to guide us, but instead, through the blood of our primordial ancestors, we shall escape the curse that has been put onto our kind so long ago. We will not be the victims of this blight any longer, and we will wage the final war needed against those who hold divinity. Those who strive against us are but mere puppets of the divine. We must accept the sacrifice, and we must accept the blood that needs to be spilled. Peace will make us mourn the inevitable deaths of innocent people, and war will make us celebrate the valiant warriors who sacrificed their lives for a higher purpose.
Let us not mourn anymore, but instead celebrate for the prosperity of our kind. Stand by me, O so-called sinners. Stand by me, O so-called outcasts. We are bespoken, and we are carved from the very fabric of death and life together. We will not fail, we will prevail. Long live the dark blood, and long live humanity.
Oops. Yes. That was the good old intro. Haven't did that in a long time. So, as usual, we're gonna start this off by making a quick recap, which definitely is needed for now, since it's been a long time since the last session. You guys have successfully reclaimed, or actually just claimed, not reclaimed, you didn't have it before, Lazula's Key, a mysterious item you have heard of that supposedly allows you to enter something within Lazula's cave. It was held by a devil that was chained to a lost and hidden building that seemed to have belonged to Lazula in olden times. And after finding out the conflict with the Holy Blood Legion, who have been starting to cause trouble down south in Azathia, and that also the Dark Resistance, a kind of cultish resistance group that originally hails from Tellus, and potentially other groups are interested in whatever's inside of this cave. And as such, you thought it was wise to get the key before any of them can get it, and then you wanted to figure out what to do with it once you get to the cave, which was step number 2. After having a bit of aid from Candice, who kind of now worked with you together, since he also seems to be against the, well, practices or goals of the Holy Blood Legion, and maybe perhaps even the Dark Resistance. He wanted to ally himself with you guys, as he, and I quote, said, "The enemy of my enemy is my friend." And so you agreed to his alliance, and he helped you out a bit. And after you received the key and got it, you went to the foot side of the hills where Lazula's cave is supposedly located. You encountered and saw and scouted out the Crusader legions who keep watch around the hills, though you quickly noticed that these scout regiments were taken out stealthily by seemingly Blood Legion vanguard units who have been able to sneak through the battle that is currently taking place down south between the Holy Legions, the Blood Legions, and the battalions from Azathia, and seem to already have made their moves by also creating these weird temporary teleportation sigils across several regions of the base side of the hill where the cave is placed. And after some discussion, you decided it would have been smart, or it would be smart, to try and gain entrance into the cave, though you didn't really know how and what is the best way without causing too much trouble with A, the Holy Religions, B, one of the other organizations or factions that is trying to gain entrance. So you were kind of in a sticky situation. However, luckily, you managed to kind of see that one of the legions suddenly just disappeared, and then kind of discerning that it was an illusion created to mask whatever's going on, you came to the legion's the Crusader Legion's aid and manage to take care of the, troops, the Blood Legionnaires who were trying to assassinate and take out the people or the Holy Legions that were currently just patrolling the area, and managed to do so with great efficiency. Killed off everyone there, managed to dispel a rod that they seem to have been using to create a magical sphere of illusionary terrain that just takes out all creatures within the area and makes it seem so as if it's empty, and also a bubble of silence which made it so you couldn't cast any spells, and obviously people inside of it wouldn't be able to alarm anyone outside of it since no sound was being produced within that bubble. And that's kind of where it's ended after Jade violently slayed the last standing Legionnaire or Blood Legionnaire, and you managed to save 2 Holy Crusaders, one of which was an absolute Chad, chowing down on those Blood Legionnaires who rolled natural 20 after natural 20, giving you all a big impression. But you all notice after kind of the battle calms down, you look around, the Crusaders kind of thanked you after you've literally saved them. And especially you, Fiera, you get a sensation of where the hair at the back of your neck kind of starts to tickle a bit. And you almost feel like the times when you contact other plane, that like a portion of your body leaves your side, as if your soul is being displaced from your body. You feel it the strongest, though Icero and Eirik, you are all pretty magically attuned as well, and you can also feel this very slight shifting of magical energy, as if the physical part of your body was slightly dilated in a almost like different frequency, and you feel like as if you're standing on the edge of a cliff and you can feel the vertigo and the fear of falling down. There is a disconnect from your perceived reality and the reality you are experiencing. And it's round about that moment when you have this odd feeling, you can see, and Fiera, you specifically can feel almost come from where your body emerges, like a tear, like a crack opens up in space, and this large crack that forms within the air itself, it kind of weaves through like black lightning before it suddenly opens up. Black smoke billows out from it as it opens up like a gargantuan maw. The black smoke that comes off disperses like mist in the air, and from within the rift you can see a reflection of your own world, though the red Blood Legionnaires that in your reality lay dead on the floor still stand in the reflection. And in the place of where Jade is standing, you can see this hulking figure with a large sword that pierces Jade's chest. Blood spilling to the floor, her body slim and slowly slides down the large sword. And as soon as you notice that, your attention is immediately grabbed by something else, as a muffled cry can be heard as your attention is focused on where Fiera is. So Fiera, you're the only one who doesn't see that. Her hair has turned golden, but her eyes are black. Her hands are spread apart as if she's trying to open something. Black energy goes from one hand to the other as she forces a hand through the rift in the direction where Jade is standing. And you can now all see that the realities seem to start overlapping before a prismatic colored barrier surrounds Jade and stops Fiera's hand from reaching Jade's body as she kind of gets shocked back, and this kind of prismatic spray of different colors kind of engulfs Fiera for a brief moment. And you can see that a door opens up behind Jade shortly after, through which Jade gets sucked in and disappears. And after this happens, the rift suddenly becomes extremely unstable, and in a flash, like black ribbons, a silk of tie kind of ties the rift back together and closes this and it disappears immediately. And only mere seconds pass as this all happens. Time still seems to be dilated and your own bodies move much slower than what you're used to. Fiera, you're very much aware of the effect that is going on. Someone is definitely messing with time, and the effects of it is rippling through to your realities, and you can see that the Legionnaires are still kind of caught up in this time stop and they aren't moving, though your own people who have been affected greatly by this, you can still move, but it's almost like in slow motion, as if you're moving through heavy muds or you are entirely engulfed in water.
Yeah, I am familiar with this. Going into work mode, is there a way I can calm this ripple and just make sure it doesn't escalate and more de-escalates?
Yeah, you can make a straight intelligence check for that.
Wait, do I have any resources? Let's check here. Nope, let's do it. Straight intelligence.
That is a 20. Yes, you can do so very effectively and very quickly as you just kind of almost mimic emotion instinctively, even though you didn't see it yourself. You kind of spread your arms together and just start to close them. And while you're closing them, it's like you're taking the ripples of water together and try to form them into one coherent wave so that will synergize and synchronize without the kind of overlapping waves creating breaks and storms and uncontrollable currents. You try to make it into a cohesive ripple that can calm down again, and you do so successfully as you kind of reach out your own annihilation field that then connects into the magical weave and grab the specific strands of it that control time to just form it into one. As you do so and slowly put your hands together, you can see that time starts to move a little bit faster. You gain more control over your bodies. Isra and Eirik, you can also start moving again, breathing, become conscious before, as you clasp both hands together, you can hear this clap sound, which then ripples through and it becomes normal again. And you all immediately realize that the Crusaders weren't aware of anything that was happening. They seem to have been displaced out of what has occurred, and it seems like you were the only ones affected by what has just happened.
It's a very weird thing. I think I'm close to the others, or at least close. No, yeah, we're pretty close together. Let's look at them and just say quickly, Jay should be okay. Let's deal with this first. And then I'll look to Glamour and see if he's able to. I know there was a guy fleeing, but I believe we blasted him out of the sky, right?
Oh yeah, you killed everyone.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna send him the mental note of check that body for whatever it had, especially the magic rod.
Alright.
A bit hidden, please.
Sure. And he kind of slowly taps his way over there. And he says,
and then I guess, yeah. Good. And then what do we have left for alive? Or, Azrael, you were gonna do first aid, right? We don't know who's alive or dead.
Yes, I can do first aid as I phase in and out of. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix that as we play. So I might go in and out, but I'm trying to. Yeah, I can definitely do first aid and take some time to.
Yeah, help whoever you can. Eirik, you make sure to burn the other forces. We don't want them to rise to demons.
Yeah, just tell me whoever's dead, Iserel, and I'll just go after them.
All right.
One of the Crusaders kind of, you see they still have like their weapons, they've like sheathed their swords, but they, still wary. You are unknown individuals, and they're soldiers. They're still somewhat vigilant, but they aren't like raising their weapons against you and shaking or anything. And you can see one of them kind of goes over. Very classical crusader outfit with a helmet, like platinum armor with the Holy Religions symbol adorned in the front. And he kind of walks over to you, Fiera, and he says, "Well, once again, thank you for the help. Though I do not recognize you. From where do you hail? Why are you here? It's a dangerous area."
Right. We were sent here as reinforcements. We're the Fate Weavers. We kind of hail from all over, but we are against this Blood Legion and what they want to find. So we're here to help keep them at bay.
Alright. And who sent you then?
Oh god, oh gold, it's been like a month. Godric as Aquinos, is that right? We well, he
Yeah.
sent us, you know. We're allies of Godric, of the written word.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
I remember how to do this. Persuasion, right click, advantage.
Do we remember how to play?
15. Yeah, it's pretty good. You can see that he like relaxes a bit after you mention Godric. He says, "Oh, all right. I wasn't really expecting any reinforcements from the outside, especially not from the written word, since they've kind of written in neutrality in this conflict."
Well, we're less members and more allies. And we've dealt with similar things before, so we have experience.
All right, mercenaries then, I suppose.
I would like to think we're above that, but sure.
All right, well, we have been... Oh, someone disappeared.
She's helping your friends.
All right, I understand. Well, it's a difficult situation for us. I'm, of course, very grateful that you've helped us, and I'm pretty sure we would have been vindicated if it weren't for your aids. Though we have been giving strict orders to, well, eliminate any foreigners that have not been given specific permission to enter this area by the Archbishop. Oh, no, I have to get used to this. Supreme Pontiff himself. But I think with some good words I may do some convincing. To talk
Well,
to the
if it
lieutenant.
helps, we do have news, and I would love a conversation with your superior of how we can help, and we probably have information we could give them just to help your defenses. We've snooped around a little bit, and we're somewhat familiar with their tactics. And we also know their goal.
Very well then. I think it's then wisest that I will take you to the lieutenant and maybe he can help you further. The regulations of the Holy Religions are rarely bent, but I'll do my best to put in a good word, and it seems like the deeds you have carried out here will greatly help in the case you're trying to make. You say you wish to aid, and you also mentioned you know of the Blood Legion. I assume then you have a specific purpose for being here other than just fighting them.
Is this like the... well, first, just so we're familiar with each other, I'm Fiera. I'm from... Oh, where am I from? Gaulis? Is that right? No, the Gaulis is the...
Yeah, it's
technically, yes. I
yes,
am.
technically yes.
Um,
You're from Canaan.
Right, I'm Fiera. I'm from Chaldeus. You are...
My name's Darren. My colleague, who also managed to survive, is Findola. She said, nice to meet you, and thank you once again, also from my side. Seems to be a more female voice.
And I assume he's human.
Seems to be. He's still wearing his helmet, so hard to tell.
Yeah, it could be, I guess. I don't know, but... Alright, our goal...
Sorry. I'm, hi, hello. I'm just trying every USB port I have, and all of them are fucked up. So I don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys.
I mean, it's okay. It doesn't happen all
Yeah.
that often. So yeah, I think you can just deal with it.
Yeah. That's gonna be it for tonight. I'm gonna order a new webcam.
That's fine.
Okay, I'm just reading my notes quick. Try to remember things. Okay. Let's go with. We have been researching as blood magic has been on the rise. We've also visited Undorn, and we've been following the movements of the Blood Legion. We know they're trying to gain entry and have stopped their attempt at doing so. And we also know that there may be a source feeding this blood magic that we don't want them to have access to. I know long ago that the Archbishop agreed that it should be sealed away, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Alright. Oh, it seems like your goals align with ours in that respect. Very well. I've more than enough reason, at least for now, to trust you. Risk your lives to save us, even though we do not know each other.
Well, like you said, I think our goals align for the moment, and there are a lot of enemies.
To be sure, indeed. Alright, I think staying out here any longer than we have to is dangerous. Their ambush was also quite unexpected.
Right. Very well. We'll prepare ourselves, and we can escort you wherever you'd like.
First, I think it's take care of these bodies.
Right.
And you can see that he and Fendola kind of just stand there and go into like a prayer position. Just kneel down and clutch their holy symbols. And you can hear like muffled mumbling from underneath the helmet, and there seem to be a very ritualistic prayer to obviously the fallen soldiers. And though probably cameras of them, they don't seem to be too phased, but you know, the legionnaires they probably have seen this multiple times, encountering demons and such. And so they stand up, and after a while also start to help with the incineration of the bodies. Shortly after, Glamour returns to you, and he says, well, not much of interest I could find. His clothings are rather unglamorous. At least that's what's left of it.
Right.
Yeah. Unfortunately, my...
But did you find the thing he was holding?
Well, I found this. And he kind of puts out a stick that is very obviously just a branch. It's like, is this it?
Aw, Glamour, you're trying.
Fear idea.
Poor buddy.
You know what? That is such a magical item, you can keep it for yourself.
Oh, wow. Unfortunately, it looks very unglamorous, so I think I would decline for this time. But maybe next time. I mean,
Right.
who would use it? It looks like a branch.
I look at Israel. That's something I care about.
I mean, I can always use it for one of my spells at some point. It could come handy.
I mean, yeah, she literally uses a big branch. Wow.
I do for as a matter of fact, yes.
Yes, branches.
You don't have detect magic, do you, Eirik? I'd have to do those.
No, I don't.
Hold up. I do have it. I have it.
Can you help me look for the thing he was holding?
The thingy he was holding. You mean the Black.
He was holding. It's really dark. It's kind of hard to see. I just know he was holding something and putting blood on it.
Okay. Can you kind of I mean, it's detect magic, so all right. Okay. I'm just gonna use my elven lineage spell that I can use once per long rest and just cast detect magic and get blinded by the pings around me.
Yeah, additional comrades. You don't find anything, and just as a reminder, I think Fiera, you dispelled his thing. That is how you broke the effect in the first place.
Oh boy, did I?
Yes.
Oh, but it's either in pieces or broken. Probably broken.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, since you probably forgot, but yeah, that is the last thing you did, which prevented it from
Could have guessed.
Gosh, I'm so sorry.
Else. Yeah. Gotcha. I guess if it's a magic item, do those like if I cast spell magic on an item, is there a chance it just stops working?
yeah, if you succeed, it completely basically destroys all magic imbued within the item, and it becomes a mundane item. Similar what happened was when Ivik was using his flying boots, and the blood cleric dispelled his magic boots and just fell down, and he had to remake them in order to create the magical effects. Yeah.
Okay.
So once dispelled, basically always dispelled.
Got you.
Unless it has like a, a quote-unquote arcane battery which recharges itself, but you don't get the that is
Yeah, that
yeah.
that was set with blood. Yeah, okay. Leave that be. Okay. Anything else? I think the battle there was that sphere of blood. I assume that went away.
Yep.
Good news.
There was.
Ordered a new webcam.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow, that's fast. that's fast.
Yep.
Do you think
Alright.
there might have been papers or anything?
Because yeah.
When we got that guy out of the sky, did he turn into like a pile of blood when he landed? Can I go look if there's anything left?
Sure. You can do that.
Okay. I'll just rifle through their pockets.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
I guess they have like orders or something. Oof. Oh, I didn't say glamorous out me. He already went through. That's fine.
Yeah, so he kind of turned into like this mist of blood, and then but it seems like as soon as you kind of killed him, he returned to his humanoid form. However, as you kind of go back towards his body, it seems like most of his corporeal flesh has somewhat like decayed, which seems a little bit odd. He had this very pale skin color, which was already odd. He didn't seem like, a Shadakai or something like that. You usually have paler skin colors, or a high elf that would, usually have the skin tone that he was rocking, but now it's completely blackened and almost seems to like decay in a much faster rate than you would expect. And so you
Do I
kind
think it's light?
you can make another investigation check.
A little better. I do.
19. You get the feeling kind of yes and no. Which is now that you have a little bit more information on how blood magic works, and that in fact it's the
Sorry, somebody's at the door.
Yep.
Nope.
We'll carry over to Ivik. Anything specific you would like to be doing other than boning the bodies? I assume that's your...
Yeah, so as I'm kind of flying around this little battlefield that we had, burning bodies, I'm gonna just scan outwards and see if I can tell if there's any lights coming towards us or sounds coming, or even if I can maybe spot things that are suspicious, because I know that we have assassins on our tails.
Yeah.
So I want to see if there's any weird things happening.
Yeah, make a perception check. 21, pretty damn good. Yeah, you take a pretty long and good look on the perimeter and also the sky. But as you're kind of going across the horizon, no suspicious shapes seem to be lying and hiding. Trees still seem to be standing where they usually stand. No one's behind them. The sky seems to be empty for the most part. You can see the moon up above you and the what's it called, the dead bodies there. However, with the 21 you do notice one thing, and that is in the very far distance, round about where you kind of came from, just a little, you came from the south east and more in the just direct southern direction, back where the grass still kind of covers the fields, because you're now at the foot of the hill, which is more gravel and rocky. You can see something kind of emerge from the ground, it seems like. Almost as maybe something was lying and just kind of stands up. And it's in a very, it creates a very weird silhouette, nothing you would recognize. And just suddenly starts moving. It's...
Towards us?
No, not towards you. It seems to be going 21's pretty good, so your estimate is seems to just be walking westwards, so kind of in a parallel line from where you are. And your best guess is like it's bigger than a humanoid, definitely. Maybe between 10 to 15 feet or so. It's kind of hard to tell, but you don't see necessarily, like, because it's so far away, no legs or arms or anything. You only recognize a shape that is moving. It could have legs, for all you know, but with the dim moonlight casting over the landscape, it is very hard to tell.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna try to keep an eye on it and see kind of where it goes, and if anything about it changes. Well, I'm kind of just hovering around the group, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah. Alright, going back to Fiera. As you investigate to see if it's demonic blight. Because of your new knowledge of what you know how blood magic works, and that a large part of the decay actually comes from divine magic and not from the blight itself, you notice that, and you assume that this body might have a higher concentration of dark blood, which is causing it to decay faster, because the divine blood is expediting this process.
Right. That makes sense. Okay, so they're able to change their blood. But we know that's possible. They have the chalice, especially. Okay. What, in terms of turning into a demon, I know that the divine magic tries to suppress that. So is the fact that there's more dark blood change the chance they'll turn into a demon, or if they will even turn into a demon at all?
Make an Arcana check.
Turn into a super demon.
25. From what you understand is that the divine blood tries to prevent a demonification at all costs, which is why it acts more strongly when higher concentrations of dark blood is inside of a body. And it seems to be an automatic reaction process that always happens, no matter
Right.
which humanoid creature it is within. However, something strikes you as weird, which is why this body is decaying when divine blood, which is usually, life-giving magic, is responsible for the process of decay, which is usually associated with dying. However, you notice and you realize decay is also part of life, which is instead the divine blood is trying to take out all organic material that produces life and try and just return it back to the earth, or potentially even the weave. And that is where you kind of focus on your innate connection to the weave, and you can feel that the magical presence that was within this body, its annihilation field, is completely dispersing into basically the ether, and like kind of returning back to the larger parts of what you recognize as the magical weave.
Right.
However, as you do this, and with a 25, you notice that there is a strong resonance that is coming from the body that you usually do not feel. It's almost like, let's say, what's a good metaphor for this? As if that the magic that is being dispersed is being turned a little bit more dissonant. Like occasionally, it's like if you're listening to a radio and usually it's smooth, but if you have a bad connection, you can sometimes see the static coming through. And there's more static here than usual. Like in Skid's camera, for example. So it seems like not all of the energy is able to return back to the weave, as you would assume it usually would do so.
Oh, gosh. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Regardless, we need to turn these people to flame. So yeah, I'll make sure to usher Eric over and give him a good toasting.
Okay. Yes, Git, is Icewell doing anything specifically?
Yes, I'm going to go around to the Crusaders one by one that are down, and I'm going to try to figure out which ones are still breathing or anything. So basically doing medicine checks and just making sure that everyone's okay, and I can at least stabilize them to see if there's anything I can do to help. How many Crusaders are there total?
Dead ones, there are 1, 2, 3. 3 dead ones.
3 dead ones? I'll do one better. Because I'm guessing they are dead as in they are down.
Well, you can make a medicine check to see.
Yeah, I'll make a medicine check to check if there's still, if there's still kind of life essence in them.
Yeah.
For this, I'm gonna give guidance to myself because I have strong fear.
Alright.
Oh, I shouldn't be scared. I should not be scared. There we go.
Oh, nice. Wow, 25.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you go over to 2 of them and you're confident they're dead. Like their throats have been cut open and they've been lying here for a while.
Okay.
However, the third one, you can see, though he's extremely heavily injured, seems to still have some life energy inside of them, and they are on the brink of death, like leaving him for a couple of minutes with the result that he dies.
Alright, in that case, I will pump a 4th level cure wounds into them.
Oh wow, alright.
Yes.
41. Holy.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
It is
Mhm.
this crusader here who kind of returns
Yeah.
back to life, and you can hear her.
Which one? This
It-
one here?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
And she kind of takes a deep breath in.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of slowly help her sit, you know, and just be like, "You're good. I got you. I'm Sorrel. Nice to meet you."
And she kind of looks confused, and you can see that the other two crusaders kind of look over and surprised that one of them actually survived. And goes over and she says, "Oh, Sentry, yes, oh my god, you're still alive. Thank you so much, as well."
Of course. Anything. I mean, it's a little bit of an impromptu collaboration that we have going on here, but you guys had our backs, so it's just normal that we have yours as well.
Oh yes, blessing be. Thy light shine over your body. Sentry, yes, she came to aid us. She saved us before the Blood Legionnaires could get us. And kind of stands up, and you know, she takes your help to kind of lift herself back up on her feet, and she's like,
Yep.
Oh wow, blessings be upon you. Thank you very much. My name's Sentry. Almost at the end of me. Thought returning back to the light would be a little bit more.
A little less painful, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It stings every single time.
It does. Well, definitely better than getting clawed open by a demon.
Yes. Unfortunately, your other two friends, there's nothing more I can do for them. I'm very sorry about that. They are beyond saving.
It's a shame. Well, we still highly appreciate that you could even save any one of us. Every life is as valuable as the light guides us. Alright. Then I think we have, as far as we can, finish up our jobs here. Most of the corpses we have already set aflame. We shouldn't stay any longer. And they kind of take on Sentry under the arm. She still seems to be out of breath. So 41 has given quite a bit of life force back. So
Yeah. If it was me, it would be almost half my health.
yeah, and she kind of takes the aid of the other two, but after walking a few steps, she kind of just walks on her own and seems to be quite fine with 41 HP. Yeah, the other three, you can see that Eirik, you've taken care very well of incinerating the other bodies, and while keeping out on a weird shape, it is still just constantly moving in a westward direction. Doesn't seem to have changed much in the couple of minutes you are keeping your eye on it. You're muted. You're muted.
You're muted. Great.
Sorry. The other direction of Undorn, though, right?
No. It would be... No, it's actually... Oh, yeah. Other direction, I know. I was thinking of Ovalmir for some reason. Yeah, other direction.
No, so it's moving away from Undorn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kenneth hasn't popped out, has he?
No, surprisingly not. He was talking with you after the fight was finished, but seems to have gotten pretty silent. And you would assume after a minute he should have reappeared. But seems like he hasn't yet.
I don't see invisibility. I don't know he's invis. Can I just like cast a message in all the four directions and see if I can get a response from him, just saying, "You still around?"
Sure, you can do that. You do that, kind of targeting all 8 cardinal directions. You get no response.
Interesting. Do I have a sending? Nope, not today. Am I worried about it? Not really. I'll kind of walk up to Isabel while she's getting herself back together and just say, can you check that you still have it?
Have it. Oh, yeah. And I'll put my hand into the bag of holding and wish for that thing to come. And I just want to feel it in my hand without pulling it out.
Yeah, you put your
Do I feel it?
inside, focus on Lazula's key, and yeah, it appears. Phew, you
Okay.
touch it.
All right. I'm going to put it back into the bag of holding, and I'll say it's still there. I don't want to take it out here with too many people around, but it's still here.
Just making sure. Seems
Yep.
our friend right now.
All right. Well, at least we're holding that, and if he wants it, he's gonna have to face us. And be very convincing, because I'm not giving it to him.
Right. Well, at the end of things, I think his goal was to make sure that we participated, so
Yeah.
as long as he doesn't get in our way.
I think he chose the lesser of two evils in his eyes who should have it. Because I don't think he considers us as allies at all. I think he sees us as a thorn in his side.
Yeah, I'll deal with him once we're less busy. But
Yeah.
if everyone's ready to go,
Go where?
with Ben.
I know, I figured, but I mean,
Well, Darren mentioned we could talk to their lieutenant, and I think allying ourselves with them and fighting together for the inevitable attack is probably wise. And we could also make sure that the entrance is secure.
have they have you? Hi, hey, I'm Eirik, by the way, to the Crusaders. Have you had experience on this hill before? Like, have you guys done rounds here before? Do you know anything else about the area?
Yeah, we are predominantly stationed here. Well, so we originally hailed from the capital, though because of the current danger we were sent us reinforcements in case a Scourge or Vanguard team as the one we just encountered would pop up here. But we are rather familiar with the terrain, yes. We've been around here quite a bit.
Was this like a normal trail that you would follow? Is this like a normal pattern you guys would take?
Yes, well, we limited our division size that takes their rounds on these hills as to not gain too much attention from the outside. Lazula's cave and what's inside of it is not known to many people, and we wish to have it stay that way, though I doubt that that is still the case, which is why usually perimeter searches have been done with just the regular Legionnaires scouting missions when going through the entire area of the region, and not specifically this cave, though. Sometimes we did look further into if any threats or factions have started to gain interest or knowledge about the cave itself.
Okay. I mean, I just wanted to make sure we're not just like walking into some completely unknown area. At the very least, someone has some sense of where we are. So that's comforting in a sense.
It is a common theme for us to be quite literally lost.
Well, I guess it's time to just get you back to our barracks and to our headquarters. And well, after talking to the lieutenant, you can decide what you wish to do afterwards.
Right. Sounds good. How far away is it? Because we were just about to bed down, but
It's about 2 miles. It's not too far from here. We've gotten pretty close.
okay, perfect.
Alright, I'll try and introduce you to the lieutenant, and make sure you gain entrance into the insides of our barracks, and mayhaps you can talk with the overseer who's responsible for the entire operation that is currently going around Lazula's cave.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Okay. Well, it would be nice to be at least long a guide should another attack come.
Definitely. Alright. And he kind of starts to march on, and the other two Crusaders follow in his lead, and I presume you all do the same. And he leads you up the hill, and kind of cresting over the one side you can see that it kind of dips down into a bit of a small canyon or ravine, if you can call it like that, though it's still very open and flat for the most part. So as it kind of gets deeper into the cave, it seems to kind of gradually go into like a wedge. And I swear you have seen this landscape already before, since, you know, last time you wild shaped and looked through the area and saw everything that you see now. And you can see that a other division of Legionnaires is stationed at kind of where the funnel point of this wedge shape is, and you can see that Darren waves and kind of goes over and talks with them for a bit, and kind of introduces you in a sense, but not formally. Kind of just takes a bit of distance, explains the situation. You can see one of the other Crusaders, they look a little bit, you know, uneased by your approach, as you now know that they have been giving the order to eliminate any foreigners that enter the space who do not have strict permission from the Supreme Pontiff. However, Darwin manages to persuade them, and he kind of just ushers you over, and the two other Crusaders who kind of stay behind with you then guide you past them. You can see this is a rather a larger troop than the one that Darren was kind of traveling with. You can see around 10 to 20 Legionnaires kind of all stationed up together. Some of them have like these extremely long spears, while others wield their usual long swords and shields. And you go past them, and you can now see the edges of the hill that coalesce into this wedge shape, and there you can see this fortified wall, which is, and you know Isobel, built in front of what you assume is the entrance to the cave. You can see atop on the left side of this fortified wall, there is a outcropping of the hill itself, where a small fortification has been built, where a heavy, large ballista has been built atop that's kind of aiming at you, and instantly you can see the two Crusaders that are manning it kind of move its points in your direction as you approach, which kind of gives you uneasy, but you can see that a kind of light signal that comes from the Crusader as he kind of casts light in a almost code way. Oh my god, what's the damn Morse code? He kind of flickers on off, on off, on off, some sort of code to the ones, and you can see that the ballista then kind of goes to a different direction and isn't targeted at you at all times anymore. And in front of the kind of wall, you can see other wooden barricaded structures of pikes and stuff like that have been built in front, making it more difficult if anyone would approach with a siege engine to kind of approach the wall itself. And You can also see a large iron gate is there that is currently being opened. And 2 Crusader Legionnaires kind of push it open and allow you guys entrance inside. But you hear that Darren kind of goes towards you and says, "Oh, wait outside. I will go in and talk with the lieutenant and hopefully convince them that you can enter our barracks. And if I manage to do so, you can talk with them personally." And after that, he
Very well.
goes inside. After which they close the gate again. You can see through the gates, it's like iron bars. The wall itself seems to be very thickly built. But behind the bars you can see the entrance of the cave, in fact. Though you don't see much other than the kind of natural walls and caverns that go inside. However, the floor you can see from where the cave opening starts, from this natural terrain, turns into very solid and very well built cobblestone, as if like a street leads into the cave itself, which is quite curious. And let's see Darren, how well he does. Alright. And about
Isorel's just like druid crafting like flowers and mushrooms and stuff around, just like keeping herself busy the way she can.
Yeah. Probably like after 15 minutes you've created like your own small garden around here.
Yep.
So the Crusaders behind the gate kind of just look at you like, okay. Alright, should we stop this? Should we not stop this? This is good, this is bad. But
They're probably like druids, man.
yeah, they're like whatever, maybe some mushroom soup someday. And yeah, after 15 minutes coming out, you see another Crusader Legionnaire, now with like a half cape over their left shoulder that is white with the Holy Religious symbol adorned in yellow. Doesn't have his helmet on, and now you can also see that Darren has taken his helmet off. You can see this like 40-year-old human, very grizzled face, a kind of 3 o'clock shadow, short black hair that is like really disheveled with all the dirt and sweat and stuff like that after having fought. You can also see a rather large scar that goes from his right nose hole all the way down to his chin, while the other, who you presume is probably the lieutenant, has very kind of nice blonde hair, though he seems to be older and a little bit bigger in stature than Darren. Has a very wide face, big jaw, but a very pointy nose, also seems to be human, very piercing blue eyes as he comes outside. And Darren stays kind of behind as the gate gets opened. And only the lieutenant with the 2 other guards who kind of were looking at Isra while she was druid crafting exit the cave itself, because he has this very typical Holy Legionnaires, somewhat high-ranking aura about him, kind of almost like looking down, and he kind of says, "Lieutenant Viscar Winsteer, I have heard from one of my comrades that you have aided him and his division on defeating a group of Blood Legionnaires who seem to have been assaulting our troops. As such, he has asked for you to gain entrance, as you seem to have aligned yourself with our interests. Is this correct?"
Yes.
And your goal, as I could surmise from the words of my soldier, is that you wish to aid us in stopping these Blood Legionnaires?
Yes.
That's part of it.
Yes.
mainly return things back to the status quo of blood magic no longer being a problem.
Yes. Basically.
Though you are, as I have learned, quite familiar with the past and location of Lazula's caves and what lies within. Is this also correct?
It has come up in our travels and tasks that we've been asked to accomplish as of lately.
Right. So, in which way do you wish to stop the Blood Legionnaires?
If you were to ask my most desire wish, and you kind of see like this resolve in Iserel's face, I want to squash them into oblivion. However, I understand that it's not that easy, and wishful thinking is not going to get us far. I actually am, unfortunately, very acquainted with the right arm to the one that is at the head of the Blood Legion currently. I have perhaps some insider information on how he works and how to identify some of his men and things that could be at our advantage, which I am 100% willing to share if it means that my group of friends here and I can keep doing the work that we have started, knowing that the Holy Religios is, at the very least, going to be neutral towards us. I don't expect you to welcome us with open arms, but if we could be cordial for the greater good, then that would make me very happy.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at what you said, especially that you say you have not only information but are somewhat related to supposedly an individual who is working in cahoots with the Blood Legions. And he says, your end goal that you have mentioned.
Yes.
Does this end with the defeat of the Holy Blood Legion?
Hopefully. I mean, it would be either... Oh my gosh, I am freaking out. I don't know if reforming is even on the table now. But if there is a way to stop them for good, then I believe we would be at least interested.
At the very least,
Yes.
they have items that they've taken that we'd like to reclaim,
Yes.
and a goal to hinder.
Yes. They have stolen some items that I believe belongs to your order. We do intend at some point to recover them, at least for you. It isn't our goal to bring back some sense of normalcy.
All right, well. You were not necessarily sent, but are working in alliance with Godric, as I have confirmed with one of my clerics.
Yes. Yes.
And you have learned quite a great deal about what has
happened to us. Information that is not easily accessible by normal means. The disappearance of these specific items is not news that was sent out to many individuals. Seems like you have deep connections.
If I don't know if it's going to help us or hinder us, but we are currently under the, I guess, and I kind of turn around to my friends, under the employment, would that be correct, of Master Zephagus. We are doing some work with him to it is
pushed us here. I wouldn't say we work for him though.
Yeah, I mean, he does help us, and has paid us for some of the things we have done, so it would be wrong to say we didn't work with him. But also as a personal sign of good faith, I'll extend my hand over to the person in front of me and I'll say, my name is Isara Leafina. I hail from Corvalli, and my father worked very, very closely, I mean, Harmon's arms, with Mr. Kronberg, who is the second in command of the Holy Blood Order.
Kind of reach out his hand, gives you a
Yeah.
tight grip.
Well met then, Miss Leafina. Kronberg, eh? And Zephagus.
Yes.
Alright, it seems...
Those are big names to drop, and I would not be dropping them if I didn't think it would help.
Yes. Two very noisy men who do make
Yes.
a large impressions wherever they go. In good and bad ways. Now you see, I have one concern. The Blood Legion is only one of the many factions who we are seeing and preparing as a threat coming here. We have been giving strict orders to eliminate anyone who approaches this area unsupervised without direct permission. On the Holy Pontiff, I believe Darren has already explained this to you. So I am in part already breaking a law by even just allowing you people to talk. But in better judgment of the light, and the Holy Father forgives, that you have aided my men, and as such, the sins that I might commit now can be forgiven, an act of a greater favor to the light and the blessings it might bring to our people. However, in correlation to our normal procedures, I will have to ask some specific questions while you are under oath, just to be sure about your alliances, allegiances, and perhaps your true intent and goal, since the answers you have given right now are rather vague and might be true, but with context can heavily shift in what the purpose of these goals actually entail. So if you do not mind these questions to be asked to you while under oath, you may enter. Otherwise, I give you the freedom to leave.
I'll turn to Eric and Piera.
I have no fear. To be fair, I think entering Underworld was more hair-raising.
And you are part of the Holy Religions, or at least worked with them. I don't know how to phrase it. So for you, this is not a big deal.
Oh, I'm fine with it fully.
Yeah. Eirik?
I'm not about to leave you two alone. I'm not about to leave myself alone.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
I'm not going to hide that I am probably seen as a heretic, a druid who draws her magic from nature and the stars and the moon and all that. And it goes a little bit against my nature, but I do believe that this is more important than personal beliefs. And I will answer these questions under oath.
Very well then, it has been decided. If at any point we do suspect you of having alternate goals that directly harm with our tasks at hand, we will take full right to execute you right at the spot. But I do believe that you are very well aware of this fact.
Everywhere we go.
We would not have walked with your soldiers, men, if we were not aware of it.
Very well. Then without further ado, I shall ask you to enter.
And he kind of turns around. You can see the other guards kind of just salute him. And he walks inside. And you follow in his trail as you kind of walk past the gate. The gate gets closed by the two crusaders.
As I enter into the gate, I'm just gonna druid craft a Corvalli flower in my hands just to remind myself where I came from and just keep going.
Yep. And as you pass by the gate and it closes behind you, so we're gonna take a quick break. Because as per usual, I have a weak bladder and I have to pee again. So, gonna see you guys in a quick second. Bye. And we're back. Please like and subscribe. I keep forgetting that. Please do. For a grand 2025. It's gonna be exciting with lots of D&D content. Anyways, back to the task at hand. You walk past this gate and into the mouth of the cave. And as soon as you step inside and past it and kind of go around the sort of cave entrance, you stumble upon a even larger iron gate through which you cannot see, since it's not with iron bars, but one solid block of iron. And you can see that the walls of the cave around you, kind of as it goes further down, merge into a heavily fortified structure. And you can see that flanking the gates are two soldiers, while within the kind of wall itself that is barring your entrance directly into the cave has many holes behind which you can see crusaders, presumably archers, kind of walking around and peering through. Occasionally an arrow tip can be seen, and you can also see that the lieutenant is walking probably 10-15 feet in front of you. And as soon as he kind of gets towards the front gate and the two soldiers flanking him, seeing him approach, he just kind of waves up his hand. They immediately get the memo and start to kind of call out and shout out to behind the gates. And it immediately opens. And reveals behind you a expansive courtyard with many pillars that go to the ceiling. And as you pass through the gate, you can see that the ceiling of this interior structure that's been built inside of the hill goes roughly about 35 feet. And as you look around, you can see many different buildings, soldiers, and almost like normal people walking around. It seems to be quite busy. You get the feeling that you're like within a town almost. A large interior space that also kind of reminds you of the Vanswire district, where it's like an underground city with many pillars that are supporting the main structure here. And you can also see that there are like various archways that seem to be decorating a very clear pathway to the end of this large hallway, or more courtyard, I should say. And you can see a large kind of Gothic architectural style building that kind of showcases many smaller towers on the outside, each of which is adorned with a lot of angelic and holy symbolisms and statues. Very fine, small detail, and much like the kind of large cathedral you saw in Undorn, that instead of this typical bright alabaster white stone that usually Holy Religious churches are built out of, it is more darker. It's like not entirely black. It has more like a stained maroon, grayish color. However, there are tints of yellow that kind of sprinkle through, almost like gold. You can see that some of the statues, small figures of angels and small cherubims and other symbols are kind of carved out in gold or made in gold that adorn this very kind of dark and ominous looking, not necessarily church, but like a chapel. And more noticeably, you can see that there's a large window that sits at the center of this structure, where the kind of archways almost frame it as you're walking through, and you can see it. And within this stained window glass, you can see that there is a figure kind of built in, or kind of, you know, carved out with stained glass, that has 6 wings that folds over itself and covers its own body. And emerging from these wings are 4 arms, 2 of which that go above his head, holding a sword that goes straight through. You do not see the head, it just kind of goes through behind the wings and emerges back outside. And the other 2 arms kind of go out from the wings, one to the left, one to the right. The left one seems to be carrying some sort of ornate orb with like a Holy Religionist cross on the top, while the other one carries a sort of holy scepter, which you have seen like other holy priests kind of hold. And the other more notable thing is that the entire surface of the wings are covered in eyes. You can all make a perception check as you're kind of walking inside of here.
Deception or perception?
Perception.
Perception.
That's 8, that's a 15. And that's a 17. Wow. Fiera, you're the only one who notices it. But you get a very strange feeling as you enter through the archways and you look at this strange figure, symbol, creature thingy that is kind of within inside of it. And you swear, as you're kind of looking through the weird wings, the arms that hold it, that one of the eyes blinks. And you kind of double check and look at it. But nope. It still seems open. And the you can see that the lieutenant actually leads you through the archways in front of the chapel. You don't enter it. You can see the typical large double door that is currently closed. And you can also see like a smaller side entranceway from which a sort of maiden appears. Has like these kind of very loose wearing robes that are black and yellow in color. She has like a yellow belt that kind of ties the robes around her waist. However, she's like blindfolded, and you can see that in one arm she's carrying a chained orb, almost like a flail, but it obviously isn't a flail. Doesn't look like any weaponry, but it's kind of approaches you then and kind of stands next to the lieutenant. And the lieutenant just looks at you all and says,
Very well then. I guess it is now time for the questions. I will have the maiden here guide us through the process and with her aid. And I do wish you to be forthright and willing with the procedures of these questions I am about to ask, as you have promised me, so we can do this without further complications. So please, what she's going to do now, you have the choice to mentally resist. I ask you not to resist.
I don't like when Matt gets that look on his face.
I'm just thinking options through. Very well. Nice to meet you, maiden. What do we need to do for you?
she kind of just bows her head and kind of looks straight towards you, and she says,
Breathe in the incense I am about to pass on to you. It will flow through your body, allowing you to answer all questions truthfully. If you, however, resist, though, I will know. If you interfere with the process, we will not be able to have your word proven in the oath that you must speak. This process should guide you to truth and allow us to build trust.
It's gonna sound weird. Can I insight check her to see if she's feeding us a lie and this may actually hurt us? Or if she's lying about the process?
sure, yeah, you can make a inside check.
With my +1?
Yeah. Go ahead. 5. Yeah, it kind of looks fine. I mean, some
It
incense.
looks like it looks.
Yeah.
It's from the Lichnius. You're with the Lichnius. You can trust her, right?
Once again, if 2 of us fail it, it's 2 out of 3. It's truthful, more than 50%. Okay, very well, let's begin.
She kind of nods her head over to the lieutenant. The lieutenant takes a step back. You can see that she, with her other hand, takes a finger and places it under the ball, after which a small flame appears at the tip of her finger and seems to light up something inside of the ball. And now that she's standing closer, the ball itself has like several holes within it. As soon as she kind of lights this flame on the tip of her finger, you can see smoke start to come out of this ball. And you all immediately smell that the air is getting filled with incense. And as she does so, she starts to then kind of take her finger away, and a plume of smoke and incense comes to gradually increase with time until there's a very opaque white plume of smoke that kind of comes out. But it disperses relatively quick, and she starts to kind of swing it around to kind of let the smoke kind of cover a larger area and starts to walk around you guys in a circle. As she does so, she kind of starts to mumble things under her breath and cast Circle of Truth. So you can all now make a charisma saving throw, or you can choose to fail. That's up to you.
So hard to trust people these days.
Yeah, then why do you think they're doing this?
Right. Like,
I'm
before
letting it happen.
We're being led further in, right? It feels like we're getting deeper in the cave when we came into this room.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
this
yeah,
may be the way. Okay.
yeah, definitely.
Is there a door on the other side of this room that we entered?
So kind of the layout is quite simple. Like here's the entrance, and just straight is where the archways are, and they lead to this chapel. And on the left and right seem to be various buildings, barracks and stuff like that, where all the crusaders are kind of just mingling about and kind of prepping. But you don't see any other obvious doors other than the large door that leads into the chapel itself.
Okay. I'll let it happen.
Okay, I guess ISRL.
Instinctively, ISRL, who's been conditioned to try to resist to being charmed or to being taken control of or anything, at first is going to feel this and hesitate, but then remember the oath that she decided to take, and as it tries to like subconsciously take over, she just goes no and just let's slide and just I choose to let this happen.
Yeah.
Like probably that the person on the other side feels like this beginning of a resistance, and she goes like no, pull back and just lets it happen.
All right, Matt.
So yeah, no, I was reading. Saphira would probably know. I'm currently attuned to the ring of mind shielding, which makes me immune to magic that allows others to read my thoughts, determining when I'm lying. You know, that kind of thing. Probably prevents this magic. She mentioned she would know if I resist it, but if it's the ring,
Actually, let me check. Because
that is a weird situation, yeah.
What is it? Let me look at this.
I mean, if you're smart, there's a reason she wears the ring.
Yeah, I believe. So it works a little bit different, the Zone of Truth. You don't get... She doesn't read your mind. She doesn't enter you in any way. So it doesn't actually interfere with the Ring of Mind Shielding. She only knows whether or not you succeeded on the saving throw. And if you succeed, you just cannot speak a lie, which doesn't...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you aren't charmed in any way. And if you succeed or fail a saving throw, doesn't have anything to do with, reading your mind. It's just her magic hasn't touched you. So yeah, so there would be no interference here.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you all accept, well, I will just read out the spell. On a failed save, as you have chosen, a creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius, which is the circle she kind of walked around, which is 15 feet. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can avoid answering questions to which it would normally respond with a lie. Such a creature can be evasive, yet must be truthful. So, from now on, you have to say the truth, no matter what. Okay. So, after the procedure is completed, she kind of just stands there and keeps waving the incense ball in front of you and kind of just gives a nod to the lieutenant and says, and the lieutenant says,
very well, this has already established a great deal of trust that you have willingly accepted. To take the oath, to speak only truthfully. These questions are simple. I'll start off with the basics. Are you in any way, shape, or form connected, ally, or are supporting the Holy Blood Legion?
No.
Never have and never plan to.
You're muted.
Yeah, he doesn't speak up.
Absolutely not.
You hesitated.
There's a frog in my throat. I just trying to get.
Understandably, weather's quite cold. Do you have any allegiance or connections, or are trying to support or aid the Dark Resistance?
I do not support. I do not wish to support. I do not want to know anyone from the Dark Resistance.
I have
mean,
never.
it's-
I've never been on a path of any darkness or ill intent. All I want to do is protect my friends and be as present in the world as possible.
I'm currently working against them.
Kind of looks a little bit suspicious to that answer.
But if we must get into it, to do so, I've had to infiltrate one of the groups they're using. I'm trying to set that group back on a better path, as they've been forced to do things I'm not a fan of because of the Dark Resistance.
And this group you mentioned, what is their name?
The Truth Seeker Fellowship. They mean well, but their means need to change.
They are currently not on our list of potential threats for this case, so your associations with them I will just simply see as irrelevant to the matters at hand right now. Are you allied to have any allegianceships or are supporting the Covenant of the Heart?
I think we're on their list of people to eliminate as soon as possible. So,
I do believe they hate us with a passion and want to see us dead in a cave somewhere. I believe we are very high on their list of must be eliminated.
Right.
Kind of looks to you, Ivic.
Greg's brain is trying to remember the name Covenant of the Heart. Yes, no, I have no connections at all, no reasons to be associated with them in any way. My associations are with the group in front of you right now.
Are you allied with or have any allegiances or are supporting the Sun Eater cult?
The what?
The Sun
I
Eater
have-
cult.
I have never heard of them. I'm sorry.
much the same. It's not a name that I can remember.
I don't believe I'm supporting them or know who they are either.
Do you have any Legion ships or allies or are supporting the Hero Grave Rebellion?
I, again, have never heard of them.
Once again, I feel that much of this is well above my realm of understanding. I have never heard of that.
What's the name you just said, Jack? Trying to take a note.
Hero Grave Rebellion.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to ask, because Spear would probably cock an eyebrow that she now doesn't know two of those. Can I, think back? Have I heard it from back home? Have I heard it on her travels? Has anyone mentioned this to her ever?
Can make a history check.
Rebellions usually go in history books.
21. Sunny to Cold, never heard before. Doesn't even ring slightly a bell in any way, shape, or form.
Sun Eater
Colt.
Colt.
Hero Grave Rebellion does kind of spark like a bit of memory. And you kind of remember in the days when you were still archaeologist that obviously a lot of ancient ruins and findings of stuff are heavily contested by, pagan cults or religions to try to unearth, different things from past history to kind of disprove what the Holy Religios is trying to say or tell the people. And the Hero Grave Rebellion was such a group that heavily contested with archaeological searches and would often try to steal, claim, or rob any ancient ruins that have been found and trying to get whatever is inside of them for themselves. But more than that, who they are and stuff like that, you don't really know. It's just in your archaeological days, it was always like a point of warning and danger when you went out to an archaeological site. There is a small chance that the Hero Grave Rebellion would try to hinder you in what you're trying to discover, and especially try to prevent artifacts being brought to the Tetsudain Archvault.
They're bringing to the vault and speak for themselves, but their goal is unknown.
Yeah, it's kind of like.
I mean, I could guess. But...
Yeah, exactly. But, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would just say I don't work with them. Actually, unfortunately, worked against them. I personally wish I knew what their goal was.
Right. Do you wish to enter Lazula's cave?
Yes. Absolutely.
It is the next destination we need to get to. So, yes.
I understand why their answers are definitive, but mine is less so. At the moment, I don't know. If it's too dangerous, I'll destroy any means that anyone can enter. But if there's a reason for us to enter it that would help the greater world, then I'll enter by any means.
Do you wish to free Melador?
Once again, it's a situation that is well above my realm of knowledge. Instinctually, no. There is... It's frightening, the idea of releasing locked beings.
Melador has been concealed and taken away for a reason, and I do not believe freeing Melador is in the world's best interest.
I won't know until I learn more about what they are and what they want to do with the world.
His eyes kind of squint a bit at the somewhat vague answer. And he kind of just takes a bit of a pause.
Have you been to Sunanir recently?
No.
We have. We saw the streets literally run with blood. People spiked to the walls. Farmed. There's fountains that they are filling with people's blood to unlock it. We learned that there's a secret. That the darker side of blood, once unlocked, isn't a good thing. I don't want that. I will prevent that. I will prevent another city from ending up like Sunanir.
Then there's no reason for you to hesitate on my last question. If you wish not to have this happen again, if you do not want our entire continent or even world turn into a spiteful, diseased world of corrupted blood magic, then in no way, shape or form should you ever wish, think, or want to allow Melador to be freed. He is the very origins of what this stems from. The things the Holy Blood Legions was able to achieve, the cataclysm that is Sunanir, that you have witnessed yourselves firsthand, is the result of the two artifacts that were stolen when the seal was undone momentarily, when the 8 mages tried to unlock and unseal Melador and free him. Lazula was the one who prevented this from happening. It's the reason why we are talking right now. It's the reason why we still can fight against this corruption. So we'll ask again. Do you wish to free Melador?
If it is what you say it is, then no. But I'm not some child. I don't get told one thing and believe it true. So much of history has been just lost beneath the earth, lost to ages, lost to time. I will confirm what it is. I will confirm that it is evil. And then I will prevent it. If it is. Not before. I won't repeat the mistakes of so many others.
I'm just gonna reach over and grab her hand while she's speaking, just to try to soothe her a little bit.
He kind of looks eagerly to you, Eric, and Isoel.
Releasing beings, creatures, entities that have been locked away for centuries. Something was done for a reason. I don't have any intention of releasing anything like that. I'm in no position to fight anything that comes out of centuries-long imprisonment. I'm interested in knowledge, in how the world functions, in how our current world functions, and how the future world might function. Things that happened in the past are not so much a concern.
As I've stated before, there a reason why this being is locked away. I do not wish to interfere with it.
Very well. I think that is enough.
And he kind of just gestures towards the maiden, and she kind of just holds a hand and cups the bowl of incense, after which the incense kind of disperses. And he kind of crosses his arms, and you can feel the effects of the spell fade away, and you aren't under oath, as they call it, anymore. And you wish, if you may wish to lie, can do so now. And he says,
It seems like your group are truly just the way I have expected. And maybe, perhaps even a blessing from the light bearers themselves. We are in need of people like yourself, curious, willing to go through great lengths and trying to find out something that might possibly lead to your own ruin. There's someone I wish to introduce you to. I myself am dedicated to the light and believe in the glory for which the Holy Religion stands for. I understand the concerns of many people that maybe some of our procedures may not go according to how everyone wishes them to be. We make sacrifices through concealing information or by restricting access to many things. But peace was preserved for as long as the Holy Religions hold the reins to this information, and as soon as it got lost, but mere was ago, war erupted. That alone, for me, is proof and evidence to what the Holy Religions has been striving to achieve was justified.
This is where my personal beliefs would come into play, and I respectfully disagree, but I also understand the reasons why. Do I agree with all of them? Perhaps not. But there is proof that your ways have kept peace. There is proof that the people of Azathia have lived long and a good life. So I do respect this.
Mutual respect, it is.
I do believe it is time to put personal beliefs aside. Currently, we have a common goal and a common enemies. And I do not see you as the enemy I thought you were before.
I'm glad that your opinion of us has changed.
I have to say Fiera has had a lot to do with it. I have seen the good that she has brought around her, preaching the ways of the light and being a hand in our darkest times. Literally, she pulled us out of one of the worst situations we have ever been.
I see. And I feel a strong sense of justice coursing through your blood, Fiera.
Something like that.
Whatever it is, I still highly recommend that whatever it is you find down there, whichever truth you uncover, I can guarantee you one thing. That if Melador truly gets freed, and this is not a matter of discussion, this is not a matter of opinion, you have seen firsthand the results of what one of his fingers can do. Carnage will be released onto our continent. And its power is ever so faintly starting to slip through the cracks which Lazula has sealed.
Oh, and I look to Eirik, we live, and I lift my hand, we live with the constant reminder of it.
An encounter not too unfamiliar.
And he lifts his own hand, and you can see he's missing 2 fingers.
You now understand my need to squash someone in particular.
I most definitely can relate to the feelings you harbor. While you are indeed within very holy territory of Canaan and the Holy Religios, this is one of the rare places where pagan practices of arcane and religious acts are allowed. You currently stand before the Azathia Holy Chapel.
And you know what, I will just spell it.
Yes, please. Okay, that is not at all how I would have spelled it.
I kind of heard assassin. I was
Wow.
like,
Yeah,
excuse
me
me?
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, it sounds similar. Assassin. Yeah. And you can see that he now kind of wipes with his fingers, and you can see that his appearance changes. He suddenly gets this very long draped black hair, his eye color turns into this grayish white, and his armor turns into this black yellow armor instead of his white one, with the kind of half cloak still remains, but it's now black, and instead of the symbol of the Holy Religions, there's a very unfamiliar symbol that you've never seen before. It's like a triangle with a yellow fire inside, with a tree that kind of grows through it.
Isorel immediately clocks the tree.
And he kind of says,
We are a subsection of not necessarily the Holy Religions, but we work with all religious governments throughout the continent, and we preserve and protect holy grounds of highly disputed regions where we have detected significant dangers, such as either sealed beings, relics, or other such stuffs. We were founded by the will of Lazula, and we have taken on the worship of Azathia. We are the shadow of the Holy Religions. We are the ones who stain our hands to keep the lights as pure as it can. We commit the sins that they try to prevent in order to create a path to a brighter future.
Every light casts a shadow. It is so to keep the balance.
I see you understand.
Very true.
So I very much understand your urge to uncover the truth, Fiera. And indeed, there is something I do wish for you and your group to do if you are willing to do so, because we are in urgent need of some help.
Well, it's our fate to be here, so what can we do?
As I have mentioned, the seal of Melador has been slowly starting to emit some energy, though that doesn't in itself cause much of a problem. However, you might not be aware, but there's a large dungeon that keeps Melador in its place, with ancient sentinels that guard it. They protect the seal, though they are inanimate statues who have been aged throughout thousands of years. However, just a couple of days ago, these stationary sentinels have started to reawake again. And we believe that is because they react to the resonant power of Melador. A protective measure if anyone wants to unseal his cage, and they are responsible for trying to prevent this from happening. So we suspect that the individual who is carrying Melador's finger must be close by, and that the magic has started to resonate with it. As such, the sentinels have started to reawaken. They do not differentiate between good and bad and will attack anyone, including our own men. As such, we have to seal off the dungeon that leads to Melador. However, as you might be very well aware, we currently have our hands full on the Dark Resistance, the Holy Blood Legion, the Sun Eater Cult, the Hero Grave Rebellion, and might even the Light Killer. So we aren't able to defend against these troops that are now starting to reawaken down in the dungeon and potentially threatening to attack us from behind. As such, I would ask you three to go down there. You wish to see and seek out the truth of Melador. I grant you access to the dungeon. You may uncover as much as you wish, though you will find most of it already excavated, as the mages before who uncovered this dungeon have greatly looted it. But Anything you might find, you can keep for yourselves. We are not interested in the things down there. If you can get rid of the threats that lurk down there, and perhaps find a way to either repair the seal and or prevent any more of Melador's energy from leaking through that might deactivate the sentinels that have now reawakened. That way you would help us reinforce our defenses and protect against the Holy Blood Legion.
Just so we know the situation, what happened to Laszlo and those mages?
Well, in the last moments when the mages unsealed Melador, the gate, and it is a literal door towards his chambers, was opened up. However, before it could fully open, Laszlo created a spell that managed to bind everyone and lock everyone within Melador's chamber, while creating a seal that would tether the old seal that was holding Melador in place back in one larger net, as to prevent his form to escape. Her tome lies suspended in the open gateway and is the lock to the very seal.
Interesting.
We usually have blood maidens reinforce the lock to preserve its juvenation magical power so that it might be sustained forever. However, through now the awakening of the sentinels, many of them have already been slain by them, and we aren't able to preserve the seal, though it should still be stable. But with the appearance of the finger, we cannot be sure.
And do you know of other ways inside? We managed to stop the Legion and the Covenant of the Heart from accessing a key, but are there other ways to enter?
No. There's only one entrance that leads inside of the dungeon. There's a reason why the Holy Blood Legion is making efforts to try and infiltrate this barricade, because they also are very well aware that there's only one way in.
So if the finger holder were to show up, it would have to go through you first.
Exactly.
So sending us ahead, you're hoping we can fix the problem before they show up.
Yes.
I see. Fair enough. That is why we're here.
How long is the journey down to this location, this door, this dungeon?
It's a very intricately built dungeon designed to keep people out. The ones who constructed it obviously made it to dissuade any curious folk going any deeper. However, through our own excavations, and presumably the mages before us have already disabled many of the traps, though there are still very much so active ones down there, so definitely tread carefully. It's a intertwining maze-like construct. It's easy to get lost, and though we can grant you a somewhat of a map that we have laid out, so it is very much vague in nature, might only help you a bit to guide you through its complicated interior system. And now
I should be able to work on it.
And with the added sentinels as well, might complicate things a little bit more for you.
I don't know about you guys, and I look to Fiera and Eirik, but I am tapped out and I need to sleep.
It is like 2 a.m., right?
Yeah, it's pretty damn late.
Yeah.
We got interrupted right when we were about to bed down.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
went 2 miles for a hike.
Yeah.
That question. Yeah. Yeah.
If
Unless you think there's immediate attack.
we
Let's
would
see,
need a
go one
few
way.
hours to recover. If you'll allow us a corner, we can stay put.
It is quite urgent that we need to have this solved, since we do not know when the attack of the Holy Blood Legion might happen. So I can offer a greater solution to rejuvenate you, though it will come in more unconventional means.
Oh, those are preferred.
Well, like I said, we are not indifferent to pagan means of magic which go beyond the capabilities of the Holy Religious practices. We have our own sets of clerics that are specialized in giving, let's say, dark blessings to rejuvenate our troops in times of need, though the fading effects can be quite substantial, but in dire situations they are a ace up our sleeve.
I'm listening.
We have something that is called the Ritual of Dark Vigor. It is something that will temporarily boost and exalt all of your powers back to what they are supposed to be, and even strengthen them for a temporary time. However, after the effects fade, you will temporarily go into a, let's say, coma.
And how long does this last before we drop to the floor?
It will last usually around 24 hours.
So we need to get this done in one shot.
We need to get this done quick and back before we drop to the floor.
And hope there isn't a battle once we do finish up.
Yeah.
Well, I do not believe we have more than 24 hours, so the time limits we are working with is strictly on both sides.
And just to cover all of our bases here, the coma at the end, is that, how long is that? And is that something that will just wear off and we will come to again? Or do we need someone to do another ritual to bring us back?
No, your body is just overexerted for the temporary time that this ritual is being placed, and so you just need a couple of days of rest for your body to recoup back to its normal state. It might take off a few days of your lifespan in the grand scheme of things, but that's a small sacrifice to pay.
Oh, that is a long day. I'm trying to remember what we did. We did a lot today. So, because we fought the Legion, killed Sil, that teleported here, and then fought.
I think you took a long rest between killing Xil and coming here, right? Because you had to regain your spell slots. I think you took a long rest after you've killed Xil, who was in the dungeon, or the cave, and then you came out, which is why it's in the evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you went and arrived.
Yeah,
at-
we slept in the cave.
Yeah, because
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I would get back my 6th level spell slot. That's the biggest thing. And my frontal shifts. I'll
I
take...
don't have a 6th level. I don't have my 2 5th level. I have used a 4th level, and I have used 2 of my wild shapes as well as one of my channel divinities. So I have used a lot.
Even if we still had abilities, without resting, we're gonna run into exhaustion.
Yep.
Right.
So either we forget everything that's just been told to us, walk away and pretend nothing has happened, or we move forward.
Okay.
Have we ever walked back?
Good question.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
We've always been forward. I don't see us going backwards right now. It's
Right.
not in ourselves.
Okay. And yeah, we should go at this with our best foot forward.
Yep.
And
We need to put everything on our side.
I assume you say this out loud to him?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're just discussing it.
Yeah,
Like,
we're yapping loudly so that
Okay.
he can hear our thought process.
All right. With that, then he will once again turn around and walk towards the Holy Chapel, and the maiden kind of follows you as well. So we're gonna take another quick break because I have to pee again. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Man, coffee is kind of make me my bladder really swim. Okay, so in a quick moment, see you guys again. Double break this time. Bye. Okay, and we're back. So without further ado, he takes you within the chapel. He kind of opens up the set of double doors, and you walk inside.
As we are walking, I'm going to kind of adjust my speed to be like kind of in sight of him so that he can see me from the corner of his eye, and kind of slightly point towards the tree that he has on like his shoulder and say, may I ask which tree this represents?
I should have assumed that a druid would ask such a question. Well,
Yes.
it's a long story. I don't know how much you wish to delve into Arseson's origin. Let's just say it's the shadow of the Tree of Power.
In that case, our beliefs may be a little bit more aligned than I thought. And I'll just slow back down to stay with my friends.
Okay. Yep. And as he leads you inside, you can see that the interior of the chapel has like a very elven style of building, where it's a very thin hall but large, very tall. Usually Holy Religions are quite spacious, as in all dimensions, and not just the height, but here it seems just only the height has been built. And you can see a long red carpet that leads from the entrance to the very end of the hall. And you can also see on the sides there are like benches and stuff set up like a usual chapel as you would expect it. And at the very end, a small podium sits where a large statue is built, which you have seen many times in most of the Holy Legion churches. And you can see that it's a tall, androgynous figure holding out a sword in front of them that balances a bowl on the end of it. So it kind of has this sword hanging out in a bowl is at the kind of tip of where the sword ends. And on the other hand, a kind of holy staff or scepter is being held, while once again her eyes are blindfolded, similar to the maiden. And you can see that the statue is also kind of carved or crafted in a way that resembles how the maidens look, or rather the maidens dressed according to how the statue has been crafted. You can also see that the balcony goes around the entire upper floor, which looks down on the kind of expansive hall, and 2 flights of spiraling stairs are in the center of the hall that lead up to these balconies. And as you kind of enter this grand hall, you can immediately see kneeling crusaders in pairs on the red carpet itself, also wearing similar armor to the lieutenants that you've been talking to. Also this kind of black, yellowish armor. It has a similar plating style like the Holy Religios, as in, you know, it's not a very foreign armor like the elves who have more this regal and kind of more ornate armor, but it's more like very shape-fitting, deep interconnected plates and heavily armored without much skin and or underclothing showing through. And you can see that all of them have their heads held down, while a group of maidens, who you have encountered one of them already, who look similarly dressed as the statue, as mentioned before, and all of them also carry a similar metal bow attached to a chain with a hole inside of them, from which a plume of incense is coming out of. And they are currently walking past the pairs of crusaders who are in the middle of this chamber. And in the other hand, you can see they're holding a bundle of dried sticks, which have like thorns on them. It almost looks like dried stalks of roses. It's the best way to describe them. And as they kind of pass each crusader, they kind of lightly stroke the dried thorns over the shoulders of each crusader they're walking past. And then standing on the podium at the very end, there's a elder male human figure. He has also black hair, quite long, with kind of stripes of grey that kind of go down to his shoulder. He seems to be wearing long black robes with a black scarf with yellow flame patterns on them, and the edges are adorned with like yellow or golden roots that seem to entangle the entire way of his scarf. And the shawl itself kind of reaches all the way to the floor and goes a couple of feet even further. And he has his hands held high in front of him. His eyes seem to be completely white. You don't know if it's like he doesn't have any pupils or if his eyes are rolled back. Kind of hard to ascertain from the distance. And he seems to be chanting something. And as soon as you step inside, Visca, the lieutenant, kind of tells all of you to bow down. And he says, "Bow down. It's currently the process of the ritual is taking place. I think we're early enough for all of you to receive the blessing, as long as one of the maidens passes you and blesses you with the hailed thorns."
Okay, go find a spot and take a kneel.
I'll go right beside Fiera and take the same pose.
Same thing.
All right. You kind of standing back behind these huge crusaders and kind of take your own place, and you can see that the maidens are slowly approaching, and the air is completely filled with this incense, and you're breathing it in. Though it smells a little bit different than the one you've just breathed in from the other maiden. And you can, as soon as you kneel down, you hear the voice of the guy who's at the very end of the hall. And though he doesn't seem to be like shouting, you can hear his voice very clearly, almost as if it's like somehow going through the incense directly into your ears. And his somewhat coarse voice, he says in Celestial. Does any of you speak Celestial?
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay, so Fiera, you would be the only one who actually understands what he's saying. The others can only hear Solais Kala Rustan Askai Ai Deus Undalas. While Fiera, you hear him say,
Shrouded in sin, we yet still stay devoted. For we have chosen the path of the broken oath. To tarnish the creed was our greatest fault. We do not hope for the sanctity of light to shine on us, but it shall instead shine on those who we chose to protect. We shall carry the burden and the sin of the divine. O blessed fathers of light, be forgiving in your judgment, for we serve the righteous path to preserve thine glory in the sins we have and shall commit. We are your executioners and your lightest shadow. May our hands be stained instead of yours to preserve the purity of thine divinity. O dark angel, devil of heaven, chosen Salus, we ask for thine shadow to walk with us to our graves, so that our bodies can create a path for a brighter future. In your name, O great Artisan, Father of chains, wielder of dark light, we hold our prayers. May thine eyes reach from the shadows of the world tree to us. Glory to the light. Amen.
And as he's kind of saying through his prayers, one of the maidens would indeed pass you, making me blurry in the process. And you can feel that one of them kind of goes by with the incense bowl and take it deep within of the incense itself. And while that happens, you can feel, only Fiera and Ice Rose, since you're not wearing much armor, you can feel like the kind of sharp thorns kind of scratch over your shoulder as they kind of brush by you. It doesn't pierce you or anything, just leaves a very light bruise, kind of just only, scratch off the surface of your skin, but definitely noticeable. And as soon as I'll just call him preacher, says amen, you can feel almost as if you're starting to get very emotional, and you notice that your eyes become a little bit moist and tears start to fall down from your cheeks, and you can kind of touch it as you see yourselves crying. However, the tears that you cry are completely black. And as you notice that and look up, you can see all of the Crusaders have stood up and have their kind of hands to their chest, and the other hand kind of saluted in front of them, kind of making this kind of a pose. And as you kind of feel this wave of emotion, and you know that crying is a way to kind of release the emotion, instead of your emotions being released, you can feel that the entire stress of your body just kind of gets flooded out as you cry these tears, and the vigor that you once lost kind of returns to you. But you very much feel like it's not giving you vigor, it's more like accessing energy reserves that your body usually keeps for emergency situations. So you are kind of given access to the full potential of what your bodies can, which in mechanical context gives you basically the benefits of a long rest. However, be aware that after 24 hours, or whenever you choose to kind of lay down, you will go in whatever comatose this guy has told you. And holy shit, why is my camera deciding to fail me? Wow. Holy shit, it's really not doing it.
Maybe not.
No, it really doesn't want to. Anyways, as soon as that happens, you can see that the soldiers just kind of stand to salute and kind of turn around to start exiting the building, at which point you can see that Viscar also kind of ushers you out with them as well. well, actually, no, he wouldn't usher you outside. He would usher you to the side, kind of just pick all of you up. And, you know, you all probably feel this surge of energy, at least that's how it's perceived, quite differently. And, haha, I did it. As you get placed to the side, you can hear and see the soldiers march past you outside, presumably to go to the front lines. And he says, so, how do you feel? Was the ritual a success?
Rejuvenated, as you said.
Yep. Seems to have worked.
Yep. I need to roll for my Staff of the Woodlands, I believe. Does that affect it or not?
Actually, no. All magic
No?
items
Okay.
are unaffected by this.
Okay.
It's only
Alright.
your person.
Do we get to change spells or anything because of this?
I'll say yes. Sure.
Oh, it changes daily. It charges at dawn, so it's gonna happen like while we're down there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, some of these are done, some are long rest. It depends on night.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was taking my spells while the prayer was said because I knew it was gonna take me a long time because I have 150-ish spells to go through.
Yeah, it's just a couple.
Yeah. That's what you see through.
Yeah, and 90% of them are concentration, so it's always fun.
Mm,
Oof.
a lot
The perks of
reading.
being a druid.
Yeah. All right. Yes, and kind of after that, the lieutenant / Visca then kind of takes you after all the soldiers have passed and say,
Whenever you are ready.
I think we just about are. I guess I'll make sure you're aware. When we were traveling here, we did find at a location a crude teleport sigil. Our best guess was that someone from Colas made it. Something I'm guessing they can do quickly and efficiently, but doesn't last. We don't know if it's the only one, but they seem to have created means to teleport in.
That is quite valuable information, right?
I mean, I could draw it for you if you want, but it's terrible looking.
Maybe just the location of where it was located.
Oh, boy.
Was it
I
close by?
mean, I can describe the area, probably.
Well, you've journeyed with one of my soldiers. Was he close by?
Oh, it would have been near that because we camped out in view sight of it. Yes, so where they were attacked, we were however many yards, 500 feet away. And from there, the circle was, 100 feet this other direction, by this tree. And we put a Fate Weaver sign on it, on the tree.
All right.
And that kind of described, like, the terrain,
yeah.
Very well, then I shall have the soldier whose life you saved make sure he finds the spot again, and hopefully we'll be able to take care of things.
Hopefully.
On the side, you see Isara just snap her finger and her owl poofs on her shoulder. Might be useful.
Actually, Glamour has been here all the time as well, but he's been dead silent.
I probably poofed him away eventually.
Okay. Oh.
Let's see,
Yeah.
start talking at any point while you're traveling those 2 miles.
Mine is technically a fae, so it leaves at dusk. So I need to repoof it to existence.
Okay.
Well, it leaves when I take a long rest, and we efficiently basically took a long rest, and it was it was dead anyways. So I'm just
Yeah.
poofing it back to reality.
Yeah. So, are you guys ready?
No.
Sure.
I'm still looking at spells because I'm also now cross-referencing the new Artificer papers, so I can't
Oh.
do D&D Beyond.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw they updated that.
Yeah.
Hopefully they release it soonish.
There's a few spell differences and stuff, so I'm going back and forth.
Yeah, I guess I would probably activate my necklace, get those hit points. I'll just redo mage armor and alacrity on myself. Don't know what to prepare. It's a dungeon. Could see it.
Yeah. Do we think I go Isorel or one of my furry friends?
Up to
Wait
you.
and see?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, do you want to lead the way? We can at least see what we're walking into.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I mean, you can take some time to prepare yourselves before you enter officially, but I can definitely take you to the entrance. It seems like some of you are still occupied.
Just in a book, like, what the hell is going on?
I'm just leading Eirik by the elbow, like, come on.
Yeah.
This way.
I promise I'm listening.
Okay. Then he just kind of takes you down the hallway. You can see the kind of robed figure who was doing the prayer kind of just gives you all a nod. And yes, his eyes aren't white anymore. You can see these very faded silver pupils. Seems like almost as if he's blind, or maybe he just has a naturally very light eye color. But as you kind of pass by him, he brings you around the statue, and he kind of pushes in one of the on the base itself. Seems to be no seams at all, but he places his hand on one area and pushes in almost like a secret button, after which the statue kind of moves forward to reveal a staircase that leads downward. And he says,
Well, whenever you wish to enter, this is the staircase that will directly lead you into the dungeon.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Do we want to send in my bird to see what's...
I mean, we're kind of on a time restraint, right? The quicker we are, the better.
Yeah.
Maybe
I can-
once we think we're in more danger, we can, or when we get near the sentinels.
What I can do is also I I can have my owl stay a few, maybe like 300-400 feet. Is it 100 feet from me that I lose? I forgot. How does familiar? Hold on.
Find glamour. Within 100 feet, you could communicate, but you could see as far as you want.
Okay, as far as I want. Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
I can maybe just leave my bird 300-400 feet in front of us, and from time to time check, because it has 120 feet dark vision, which can be useful
Right.
to see potential problem far ahead.
Is it dark down the stairs?
I mean, it's a dungeon.
Oh yeah, it is pitch black for you as you look down there.
Okay, I will take out the drift globe, and I believe, oh boy, which one is the cantrip? Erleucht? Is that the light?
Ja, erleuchte. CH is always in German.
Erleucht.
Yes. Very nice. And so it whoop, kind of drifts up and starts to give off a
And it gets
luminous light.
okay. Well, let's follow your little owl then.
All right.
Okay. So the little owl. Oh, actually, no, it's silent. Glides down the dark, ominous staircase as you follow in its trail. And as soon as you're going down, it seems to be a very narrow and tight staircase. It's like a one-person staircase, so you can't walk next to each other. However, after a while, and your owl would notice it, it can like very quickly descend, since it can just literally fly down the staircase. It takes you a good 15 minutes to walk down this very tight staircase before you actually reach the bottom. Seems to be very, very deep below underground. Oh, actually you're on side of a hill, so you might have reached subterranean levels as you kind of go down there. You can make a perception check for your owl.
Yeah, the minute I get my foot like on stable ground, I'm going to put my hand on Fiera's shoulder and say, "Just guide me for a second, please." And I'll floop my eyes into my owl.
Yep.
To see. All right.
As soon as she does that, what's our marching order? Just so I know,
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
in case I want to do something.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah, so I would have been in the front. I would have been in the front.
Okay.
I would have been. Well, in that case, probably reach back to Eirik
Okay.
to hold him and say, "Just guide me for a second." And then Fiera in the back.
Yeah, that's right there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Make a perception check.
Yes. Perception. So it has a +5 to perception, which is better than me. So that is 18 + 5.
Nice, 23.
Yes.
Yeah, he's kind of, as he's flying down the stairs, at some point he kind of flies out into a hallway, which doesn't get much bigger. Well, compared to the staircase, it does. The hallway he kind of flies into seems to be like around maybe 20 to 15 feet wide, and seems to be a structure that was built. Definitely not. There's no natural cavern. However, you can immediately see that most of the stones inside of here are heavily eroded. And as soon as you kind of flies inside, you get a almost like a shock moment, as you can see these two somewhat large statues that come out of the wall that seem like that look like dragons holding halberds up, and the halberds kind of merge into the wall above it, and you kind of dodge away because you think, you know, you've heard of, you know, statues being brought back to life and stuff like that, but they don't seem to move or anything, and the owl kind of
Instantly, Isara goes.
yeah, you kind of like dodge, like if you're doing VR and you think like you're there, actually there.
Yeah.
And it passes them by, and as he's kind of scanning around the area, the hallway goes on for like maybe 20 feet before it curves, and you kind of swoops down there to the corner, lands maybe for a bit, and pierces through the curve, and you can see that there are multiple hallways that kind of just branch off in many different directions. And you can see that the complex interior nature of this dungeon starts to kind of uncover itself. But as you kind of are stationary for a brief moment, the other thing that you definitely notice is the walls themselves. Kind of, as you were flying in, you saw like that they had a odd structure to them. And though you just assume might have just been the very naturally eroded surface texture of the interior space of this dungeon, now that you look closer, you can see humps here and there and kind of asymmetrical protrusions coming out of different sections of the walls, and now even the floor. And your owl can see what seems to be a hand that you see that's somewhat coming out of the wall, and it kind of flies over and lands on top of it. And then you see an elbow, then a knee, and part of a face, as you notice that the entirety of the sides of the wall is adorned, something fell down, excuse me, is adorned in humanoid bodies that also seem to be petrified, merging in and out of them. And on many different spots, you can see how also spears go in and out of the wall, as if spears were thrown into the wall to pierce whatever humanoids were unlucky enough to get stuck and or buried deep within the structure here itself. And with a 23, not only does he notice the these weird humanoid bodies there, but you can also see that at some point you can see like a chest of one of these creatures, and it has a hole inside of its chest. And you look at a different part of a different wall, and you can see like other like two humanoid creatures that kind of almost like hug each other, and both of them as well, the chests all have a hole within them. And as you scan further and look at the faces of these poor souls who seem to be merged within the wall itself, they all don't seem to have any hair. They all seem to have faces of pure agony, and they aren't wearing any clothes. And the more notable feature is that all of them have 3 crude shaped asymmetrical horns coming out of their heads. As you then finally step inside of the hallway of the dungeon itself. And that's where we're going to end today's session.
Whoa!
That's old.
What kind of catacomb ass shit is this, Jack?
Yeah. I mean, it's your first proper dungeon, I believe.
Our first real big dungeon crawl. Yeah.
Like traditional dungeon, yes, yeah.
In actually 3 years.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever given you like a normal dungeon. Usually it's like a cave or something like that, but not a dungeon.
Yeah, we've had a couple.
Just kind of like
we've had a couple.
A cavern
couple,
with a thing in it and whatever.
Few things with rooms and stuff, but this is our first real dungeon crawl.
Yeah. You guys excited?
Interesting.
You guys excited?
Yeah.
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 Scared, but yeah. Scared,
Don't touch
but
the
excited.
walls.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, we a lot of what do we touch, what don't we touch.
the one thing I do want to say though is that everything that you were describing to me, I would have been saying back to them in the back.
Yeah.
You know, repeating what I see just to make sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we have it. They have officially entered the dungeon. And now
Yep.
we truly can speak of Dungeons and Dragons, because there seem to be draconic statues inside of
Yes.
these dungeons. It is as D&D as can be, and yes, Skid is just a girl who loves
Yep.
dragons.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. This was the best shirt I could have worn today.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, some pretty good discussions, I guess, were made today.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of
a discussion
rolling.
while under oath.
Well,
It's not so
yeah,
much a discussion.
yeah, you still have to kind of persuade them, you know, even if you're saying the truth.
Yeah, but we got through without
Yeah.
much trouble,
Yeah.
which was cool.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because who knows if Fiera really said the truth.
I mean, technically she has to, but yeah, we never
She
know.
had to have.
The
With
technical
her-
truth, yeah.
Yeah, with her ring and all
Well, the
that.
ring did. Well,
Yeah, the ring,
There
unfortunately.
could be trickery.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with the lack of the very special posters that you have received, that will definitely help and bless you through this dungeon. Definitely won't give you any sort of unluck in any way, shape, or form. You can feel safe
it's a
and
dark
calm.
ritual.
Yes.
Again, this is so cool.
That's so sick.
It
I'll
is
take
so
a picture
sick.
of mine after.
Like, you guys don't understand how much I love green in life.
Oh wow.
There
Like-
you go.
Look at that.
My chair is green. Everything that I own is green.
Wow. An obsession
Yes.
with green. I now know a third person, which is you, that has an obsession with green. And I was like,
It's not my favorite color because things don't exist in my favorite color, but like literally like 2 of my pens on my desk are green. Like everything that I can find in green, I get it. Because I love green.
okay.
Okay.
And
You
let's be real,
you have the
I
choice.
love blue too, by the way.
But,
Like
I mean,
chair.
like, you have the choice between pink for girls, blue for boys, and then the other choices are like green and red. So I'm like, let me get green because I like green. So from the moment I was a very wee child, everything I have received has been green.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that is also that's the only green image there is of the images that were available. So I guess you got super lucky there on that front.
Yep.
Like there are lots of blues,
This is-
lots of
Demons.
purples. Actually, red. Yes, there's also a red one. But I
Nice.
think the most dominant color was actually purple. I think, I believe. Oh, there's actually a great yellow
It's a
one.
pretty purple.
Yeah.
I do love Matt's image. It is
that's
insane. It is insane.
Sword, Gerudo pose,
Yeah.
explosion,
Yeah.
Yeah, badass is not
undead hands. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe someday you'll get the other. You can have the entire collection. Who knows?
Oh. You can rest assured that as soon
Yeah,
as
it's quite
possible,
cool.
it's going right there.
Oh,
It's going right there.
Oh, I can put
Wow.
mine like right here.
Yeah, I'm putting it right there. It's gonna be in the background. I have to have it in the background.
That's a good idea.
Look,
I mean, I'll
I
put
have
it somewhere in here. I don't know where.
I have dinosaurs in the back. I need to have my demon on top.
I mean, that's pretty epic. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
damn. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Good spot.
yeah,
Oh
Good
yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Good spot.
Yeah. yeah.
Well, then to not hold you here any longer, dear viewers, we will say goodbye for now, and hopefully, please like and subscribe for a regular schedule. With hopefully
Yes.
all members of the cast. We do not know if Jade or Felicia doesn't return. We can always blame Fiera, or at least one of her versions.
One of them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
one of them.
But crossing our fingers, Felicia's schedule settles back down now that the holidays are over.
Yeah, though from the sounds of it, that might not be the case. But, you know, we can always hope. Can pray. The posters arrived, which I also didn't expect would happen. So, yeah.
Sooner than I thought, and neither was lost. That was
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
That was also
Yep,
surprised
yep.
that it just went lost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then that's our final word. And we'll say goodbye until next time. Bye.